Everybody, Old Man Rukus here. So I just learned I actually wasn't even online, so that's cool on live. But that's cool because it was just practice for me. So I'm going to talk a little bit about why I'm here. Drinking and Devin, my two favorite things. One, I got the Evan Williams up because I wanted to try something different. I'm usually drinking Jack or something hard liquory, something bourbony, and that's cool. But today, going with Evan Williams. Two, I want to talk about a few things that the Bash Box can do that we actually haven't been able to show off lately, but now, I think it's a good time. So let me show off what we've been doing with the Bash Box. So as you can see, this UI looks different from how it's been looking before. This UI is completely customizable. So I put up a post on iArcade to show off what people can do. See, hey, the UI is completely different. A couple people hit me up and say, hey, do I have to have a Devil May Cry theme? This is not a Devil May Cry theme. This theme actually allows for you to get your icons here and for you to be able to grab any pictures from these games that you want. You'll be able to go in, edit, and actually search for the banners and the icons that you want to use. And that's how they come up here. So this Grand Theft Auto one, you could change it if it's available. If it's not available, let's check and see if Diablo has it. Nope. So Diablo Immortal doesn't have one. And sometimes, well, with ours, we're actually working on this. So we'll have different things that we'll be able to show off with ours too. But you'll be able to have different backgrounds for different games and different types of games that are up here. So when you get global match working and when you get different things from there, you can have those shortcuts. Those shortcuts to whatever titles you purchase on global match will also be here. So you don't have to go into global match. As long as you've already logged in and you've already set a game that you want to play, you'll be able to move those games over here and you'll be able to play them and show them off in your home screen. I can't show off my all apps because I got a couple games there I can't show off yet, but this is the new and improved home screen. Now I can show you. You're able to go in here. You can set the music, and you can add your own music. For me, I got open apps in Android TV mode because a lot of the games I want to play, they don't actually support controllers and touch. But when you open an Android TV, it actually works. You have. You could change this to however you want to do it. You can have however you want to play this around. So I'm going with theme. I'm going with dark. Drawer app type, banner, poster. And that's how these games look now. So now it'll look just like the old UI, but I like the circles instead of the squares. And that's how these come up from here. And you're able to change the UI to whatever you want to do. And that's what we've been trying to give everybody. We're trying to give everybody different options on how they want to play the game. We're giving developers different ways to be able to play the game the way they want to play it. We're giving anybody different ways to be able to come in and be able to play games the way they want to play, because that's what we're trying to do. Independent developers working for independent developers. I want to stress that this Bash Box is not an emulation device. You can play emulators on it, just like you play emulators on the Xbox, just like you play them on your PC. This is not simply for Battle Sarah. You can install Battle Sarah on here if you want to. This isn't simply for, throwing random images on here. You can throw them on there too. We're going to make it super easy for you to unlock the bootloader. We're going to make it super easy for you to install what you want to install on here because we want you to treat the Bash Box like it's yours. I believe in when you buy something, you own it. So when you get the Bash Box, it's your Bash Box. Put whatever you want on there. If you want to keep the stock OS on there, the stock UI, you keep that on there. If you want to keep the stock OS and change the UI, there's multiple different UIs for free and paid on Google Play Store that you're able to use. The one that I'm using is customized for the Bash Box through Console Launcher. And for me and for the users that we've been seeing, it's easy to use. Their biggest problem that they've been seeing is that they feel like it's too much like Switch. And because it's too much like Switch, we tried to give them different options to say, okay, you can have this bash box the way you want to have it. The default will be the one that I've shown off, but I'll probably show off in different videos, different themes as I change my mind on a few things. But the coolest thing is that it's different. We're trying to show off more differentiating why you'd want a bash box versus you just want to go get a rock pie or something like that. Even with those devices, I personally, I got rock pie, I got orange pies too. I'm able to put in different images that I want to put in. Usually grab them from Keo Daikin, to be honest with you, because he's got some super stuff with him. And when I want to use emulation devices, that's what I use. When I want to play independent games that I've never seen before, something new, something different, something exciting, I can't always go to Steam because I'll find another Final Fantasy or I'll buy another fighting game that I'm used to already. I have Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken, Guilty Gear, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Dragon Ball Fighters. I have them all. And the reason why I have them all is because these are games I'm used to. But I don't get to see different titles that I would really love to see. A big example is a game that somebody brought to my attention, Diesel Legacy. It's a super, super dope fighting game that's, if the FGC got a hold of it, I think it would be amazing to show off. But I couldn't find it. I would have never seen it. I haven't seen any marketing, and it's because as an independent developer, it's hard for us to market. It's hard for us to be able to put our stuff out there. So I'm trying to continue a path that Jong actually started. iArcade, we talk a lot about iArcade, the only things that pissed us off, but ultimately iArcade had an amazing idea that I'm trying to finish. Ouya had an amazing idea that I'm trying to finish. And different things and different surprises that I'm going to show off probably in the near future. The next couple of months between now and April, you're going to get bombarded with new Bash stuff. You're going to get bombarded with new Bash box information, and I'm going to try to keep the hype train going. And it's not so simply just to get pre-orders because, of course, I want pre-orders. Of course, I got to pay back the investors, but I want to make sure people understand I'm not just selling them some crap. I'm not just selling them some stuff that I said, today I decided to make a console. And that's not what this was. This Bash box has been year and some change in the making. There's been a lot of decisions that had to be made to get to this point. A lot of people came and went. A lot of people came and stayed. New people came and stayed. I have the team that I have now that's been solid with me for a little while, and we're going to work on this. We're going to be able to push out a higher quality product with that. We had to replace some things because certain people aren't here anymore, but now that we got Thanos is working on a new UI for a few different games, Driver's Edge that we've been showing off for past couple years too is nearing completion. We're able to start showing that off pretty soon. Brass Hollow Point, we're going to start showing off that again. What else? Renzo actually in Squashbug Games, they produced a new update to their Heavy Metal Titans, and then the Bash edition again is going to be crazy. It already looks nice, and now that he unlocked the frame rate, it looks even smoother, and that's going to be killer for playing on the Bash box, especially in 1080p because it's really smooth when you play it. And then he upgraded it from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5, so he's taking advantage of new technology that's going to make it even smoother. It already looks nice, and it was already a nice looking game, but the iArcade wasn't the place to show off its potential. He did that for the community. He wanted the community to have something Metal Slug like. He wanted to be able to push something out there. And it's first title. He was panned at the same time. He did an amazing job, in my opinion. And now that the Bash box is coming, he's able to show off a lot more what he's able to do with that. What else? We got Tank Bash. Tank Bash, I just pushed out an update yesterday. I'm waiting for feedback from the new customers. Waiting for feedback from everybody, the testers, to say, hey, this is working, this isn't working. I haven't forgotten you guys with Tank Bash. I just had to finish the EX version 2 while trying to backport that to the iArcade, which is actually a huge pain in the ass. And because it's a huge pain in the ass, it's been hard to get out there. So I just want everybody to know I have not forgotten you with Tank Bash. The important thing has always been making sure it works, making sure it's compatible with the arcade, and making sure everybody can actually install it. Because right now, people were having problems installing it. But I think they shouldn't have that problem anymore. And if it's working now, I'm going to push out one more update for it so it can look nice. But the goal was to make sure it works. So I pushed out the one that was leaked from the iArcade and made sure that people are able to play that one at least. They won't have the same compatibility with the Windows version, they won't have the same compatibility with the Bashbox version either, but they will be able to play at least iArcade to iArcade, and that's still important because iArcade doesn't have many online games like that, and this is something you can just literally jump in and play. That's the whole idea. You go to deathmatch, you jump in, somebody else goes to deathmatch, they'll jump in that same game, somebody else goes to deathmatch, you'll all be on different teams, you'll all start playing with each other. So that's the big idea with ThinkBash, and I hope that, when people start playing it more and more, that we're able to get more feedback from that and be able to use that to improve ThinkBash EX Edition. Also want to talk about independent developers. So we're in the process of looking at one right now who has this amazing game that can't show off yet, but it's a retro inspired basketball title, and I'm hoping that it's I got to get this contract ready, got to get the check sent out to him. Once we get that out to him and get everything confirmed, I'm going to show that off as soon as I can. It's a couch multiplayer game. This one won't be online. I will talk to him to see if he's willing to put it online and offer him some networking, some back end space if he's willing to do it. But if he's not, that's cool too, because it's actually an amazing game to play, for especially with the arcade. When you hook this thing up to the arcade and you're able to play it that way. I can't wait for Friday for Glenn's reveal. I know it's coming, then I can talk about how the Bashbox will connect because it's going to be super huge. I can't talk about it now. It is Glenn's product, and Glenn is one of my guys, so I got to make sure I'm respecting his space. But that Bashbox, it's not the Bashbox. I'm sorry, the Viper connector will be able to, I believe, play nice with the Bashbox at the same time. You may have to swap them both out, but you don't need the iArcade PCB anymore for pretty much anything. But I do know Viper won't have Android games if I'm wrong, please somebody write in the comments and correct me. But the Viper won't have Android games. The Bashbox, of course, will have Android games, but it'll have different titles that you're able to buy too. So having a Viper and having a Bashbox on hand, both of them make a winning combination. It's going to be huge because then you'll have your Battle Sarah images for games you want to play. Most of them won't be online, of course, but the Bashbox will have a lot of the titles that you're able to buy will be online. A lot of all of the licensed titles, I believe, that are not single player are definitely online. At least the ones that we're putting out that are retro, they're going to be online as much as possible, except for one, which is because it's Driver's Edge. The arcade version won't have the ability to do multiplayer the same way because it's not emulated to be able to have multiple screen networks. So if I can figure that out, I'll figure that out. But we do have a new version of Driver's Edge coming that we're building ourselves, and that's going to be, of course, 16-player multiplayer races. So you'll have plenty of opportunities for online racing. We're also working on a couple of different projects that Mensa would kill me if I talk about now, but the Bashbox is definitely coming along. And, I've been taking a lot of criticism from the community about what happens with the Bashbox, how we haven't been able to show it off, are we showing off his ROMs? All right, so I took away showing off ROMs. We're not showing off ROMs anymore because I don't want it to be known as an emulation box. So I don't care about the emulation aspects. What I care about is being able to show off independent developers, show off how the new innovations they've been able to do. And for the guys we're working with the two guys, we're currently looking at signing in and getting those checks out to them. We're definitely going to show off some new impressive games that are coming. They are retro inspired, but even with those, there are so many independent developers that we're also showing off that are in Google Play that when they see, these are able to work on a Bashbox and a lot differently, then they'll be able to show off, okay, cool. They'll have this to be able to say, hey, this works from here, that works from here. And we'll be able to help them out with their marketing, help them out, get different sales, get more feedback from the games too, because a lot of these will get lost in the sauce. And I want these developers to be able to showcase and highlight their stuff. In the chat, I see Bobby Vu, my guy, Toxin. Shout out to you guys. I saw a few people come and go, so I want to get everybody that was in there. But I definitely appreciate you guys jumping in and staying here because it's one of those who planning on being long. Just a little bit to talk about, a little bit to get out with the Bashbox, and again, Drinkin and Dev'in. That's what I do. What else? Also, I'm not addressing any YouTuber drama. whether I'm in it or not. Not in this one, because that's going to bow the drinking. So any YouTubers who have problems with me, you can save it for Messiah show. I'll be on that too. I'll even vent on that show too. But this show right here is going to be about development. The show is going to be about innovation. The show is going to be about anything to bridge the gap with community, guys. So everybody in here is invited. The stream is right there. I took the blocks off of everybody, and I welcome the debate. I welcome the naysayers, the critics, and everything. If I can't change your mind, I'll work to change your mind on how we're pushing this out. But I do believe with the Bash box itself, as we grow more, as we show off more, it's going to be more attractive to independent developers too. We want them to be able to say, okay, well, we don't want just our games on something that's only going to get 10 sales. For some developers, it's hard to get 10 sales. For some developers, they can get up to 10,000 sales. We want everybody from that small developer who could only get 5 sales in Steam to independent developers getting 100K on Xbox. We want to be able to show off your work. We want to be able to show off your innovation. That's why we're offering the 90-10 deal, because no other store does that. And we want to make sure that developers are coming in and being able to show off their work. That's where we're going to go from there. So for at least the first year, and if I can, as long as I can keep it up, it's going to be 90-10. And everybody who signs on, who we are not paying, specific royalties for, they're going to come in and they're going to get 90-10. For everybody who's going on the store, for at least the first year their game is on the store, is going to be 90-10. I'm not going above 80 ever, because I just refuse to. And the only reason I would go up is because of server costs. So I got to make sure I'm able to afford the server costs. Again, this isn't about making me rich. This is about making great games. I want games to be out there. I just had a talk with my mentor. He said games, software is what makes the money. Cool. I want developers to make money. I want developers to get paid. I want developers to say, hey, this game had this amount of sales on this console. Let me bring it to Xbox. Let me take it to PlayStation. Let me take it to Switch. I want developers to be able to use Bash as a stepping stone. And even within the team will tell you, I always say, use Bash as your first step. Bash shouldn't be your home, or Bash shouldn't be your end goal. Bash should be your starting point. And, I'm hoping, with Thanos, with Ferris, with, with HK is going to wear this, my brother. This is what he loves to do. But, as Prince Malcolm is actually a special case, because he's getting more experience in the licensing realm. And as I, task him with getting these, he just scored a game for me, and this game is huge. So as he gets more experience on how this business works, he's going to be able to take that to somewhere else and say, hey, I already know how this works. I worked in this small console with a small company, and we've been able to do this. I've been able to score these titles. I've been able to make these deals. Once he goes to a bigger company, they're going to say, okay, cool. You got 4 or 5 years of experience in Bash. I got 2-3 years of experience in Bash, and you've been able to make these deals. So that's an example of somebody who's going to definitely be bigger. Danny Watson, Dragon, super QA guy. Now, when he takes this to another company, he's going to say, I've worked on these titles, I've shipped these titles, and I've been able to point out these using these tools. So when he goes to a different company, he's going to say, okay, well, yeah, you have this experience. The key to Bash is not to make this your end state. This is your stepping stone. This is where we all learn. This is my home, and I kick my kids out. So I want everybody to come in who wants to come in, who wants to get the experience. I want developers to come in who's hungry for this new experience. Working with Tavares and the people I've been able to introduce him to, and then now the moves he's making, he's supercharged. And I'm so super hyped to see when he does bigger. Again, he's going to use Bash box as a starting point, and the sky's the limit for him. And then we have a couple other guys coming in. One, again, I'm going to shoot that check out probably the end of March for that guy. That I'm going to start showing off that title. It's crazy, and I really wish we could get this online. And if I can work it, I'll work with him to get it online. If I have to do it myself, so that's where we're going to work with that one. But these are my guys. These are my team. I want these guys to do super huge things. And Thanos, that's my brother right there. man, even him. I got him tasked with building a whole new UI for Driver's Edge, and he's already got the vision. So I can't wait to see what he does with that. I can't wait to see when Fair changes up everything for how the physics are moving, because right now the physics suck, and that's probably my fault. But I want these guys to be able to get this experience. I want again, going back to the independent developer, the whole mentality of it. Doom started off as an independent game. Prince of Persia. These are iconic titles that, because of the fact, because of the times, they came out as shareware. They came out as something small to be able to get some money in. John Carmack started Doom. I think he did Wolfenstein 3D too. These were indie games. Doom might be considered a AAA title now. Doom was an indie title. Prince of Persia was an indie title. Flashback. These were indie titles that, because they were given a chance to shine, they were ultimately a better time. They were given different ways to push this out there, and because they were good, people flocked to them. Rich Waldo, I always screw up his name. Rick, that's my guy, man. Appreciate you coming. So the goal here, again, I can't stress this enough: independent development. I want small developers to be able to come in and say, hey, I put my game here. Let me test out the waters. Let me get this in there, get a few bucks in my pocket. Some people might strike it rich. Some people might just be able to get their team a case of beer. I want them to be able to get their games out for the passion. Renzo gave us Heavy Metal Titans. Didn't ask for anything. I want to give him what I can, but he gave it to us. So I just want my game out there. He gave it to iArcade. Just want his game out there. And I want people to see how much work he's done with it, because it's definitely not the same game on iArcade. It's super improved. It's amazing. And the graphics on it is crazy. So I want people to be able to see that. And then we also have a lot of different ways we're going to push this out there for different units. So this is going to the Nova Blast, of course. This is going to the iArcade. Glenn's going to talk about the connectivity with that on Friday. It's going to the Polycade, of course. And I want to be able to get out different units that sorry. I want to be able to get out different units for showcasing a lot of these devs, especially this one, the basketball game that I'm hoping that we can definitely get a cabinet made of that. I'm talking to the Unicode guys as soon as possible. Are we going to support light guns on your badge box? Of course, I actually have the Descendant light gun kernel drivers, and they're going to be built into the OS. Now, specific guns themselves, Unicode's also coming out with guns, and there's other ones too, but I definitely want to make sure those send-in drivers and the kernel drivers are put into the bash box, because one of our titles supported anyway, and we want to make sure when different light gun games come, they're able to be supported. I talked to the House of Devet developers for the Overkill. I got to get Sega over a bash box so they can see if they want to support with House of the Dead Overkill for Google Play. And if that works, then they may actually bring out different titles. I can't, confirm or deny. This is just, again, this is on my LinkedIn, so this is public, but they are interested in Android more and more. And, it's not solely Bashbox, but, they definitely ask for a Bashbox to be able to say, okay, even if it's just for development. Oh, yeah. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. So, again, going back to the initial goals and making sure developers themselves have a place they can call home while being on the first step to bigger and better. I wanted to make sure everybody understands that independent developers are at the forefront of what we do. And this is where I started. Everyone knows I started with Unico. Everybody knows now I built different things for Unico. I built different things for Arcade 1-Up. Polycade, of course. Polycade, a few of their titles are running on Retro Bash because I can't remember which ones fully. There's one I can't talk about, but there's at least 4 that were PlayStation 1 titles. They are running on a Retro Bash. So, Polycade and Wade, Tyler and Ron, they've taken care of me. So whatever they need from me, they will always have it. And that's with those guys. But this is where we're working with the Bashbox. So I just wanted to get on here. I didn't want to keep everybody like I would keep everybody before. When I'm on here with Mensa, I'll probably be here longer. But I want everybody to be able to see the bash box and see what else I can show off for you guys. I was showing off the new themes, titles, but I want people to see the graphics of this game. And I think this is going to blow a few people's minds. Also, this is not a side-loaded game. This came directly from Google Play. It's actually free. It does have in-app purchases, but this game is crazy. I think it's trying to update. Yeah, it's updating. All right, let's let it go through this update process. Don't look like it's taking long. But I've been playing this game a lot lately. I actually been neglecting Tekken 8. One, because I'm stuck trying to get to the purple ranks. Two, because download necessary. Download. Skip. But this game right here is beautiful on my screen. I wish I could stream this and when I want to stream it at, but yeah, this game is actually super crazy. If I didn't know this needed updating first, I would have definitely started that process first. All right. I remember how to play. All right, so that's Devil May Cry. Show off my bros game, Honky Pong. This right here is on itch.io. Able to be played whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready to get it from them. I believe it's pay whatever you want. And this is an offshoot of a title he did for the NES called Honky Pong there too. Honky Pong Redux. I actually have one of the few cartridges that he's made for that, so that's big for me. But it's basically Pong that I can't escape. Yeah. I'll reset it. So that's titles that's currently in development, and that's how we're trying to run. That's how we're trying to work things. We're trying to show off a lot of things we can do better, a lot of things independent developers bring to the table, and I want to show off the skill set of my team itself because, as you can see with the with the badge box, it's getting better. It's things are definitely showing up, and new developers are showing up, and that's what's important. Indie developers are what I do this for, and I appreciate everybody who supports Bash. I appreciate the developers who come in and trying to kick out their games. The team out in India who are doing a completely different set of things with Bashbox. So, stay tuned and definitely feel free to ping me with any questions. If you have any questions about your orders, if you have any questions about, again, when it's coming out, because late April, sorry, late April, you got any questions on what's coming with it? We'll add new games to the website as we're allowed to push them out. But I'm going for 20 packing titles. and that's not counting global match. Some of it might count global match, but I'm going for 20, not counting global match. Don't quote me on that because I do have at least 10 that we are working to bring to basically to the platform. We have like 5 of our own that we're developing, and I should have those ready by April. Brass Hollow Point won't be ready; that'll come later, but Driver's Edge should be ready. And again, thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for coming, and I hope I'm able to. I hope I'm able to show off more with the badge box. So I'll leave the floor open for questions if you guys have any, and if you don't, I'm going to drink the rest of my alcohol. I'm going to go rub Jessica's feet and call it a day. I see Moke just show up. Toxin, appreciate you, man. Oh man, I was on a show with Toxin, and it was a super pleasure having him on there. All right, you guys, take it easy.